Hey everyone, welcome back to SwitchTop. If you're a JRPG fan with a Nintendo Switch, you're in the right place. Today, we're counting down the top 20 JRPGs you absolutely need to play before 2026. These games represent the best turn-based combat, epic stories, and unforgettable adventures the system has to offer. Let's jump right in. Dragon Quest XI's is a traditional JRPG done to perfection. You play as the Luminary, a young man who discovers he's the reincarnation of an ancient hero destined to save the world from darkness. The catch is that the king declares you're actually a harbinger of evil, forcing you to flee and gather allies while uncovering the truth about your destiny. The turn-based combat is classic but refined, letting you control a party of up to 4 characters with distinct roles like damage dealers, healers, and support. Each character has unique skill trees, where you invest points to unlock new abilities and stat boosts. The game offers both 3D and 2D modes, letting you switch between modern graphics and a retro 16-bit style whenever you want. Exploration is rewarding, with visible enemies you can avoid or engage, and the crafting system lets you forge powerful equipment at campsites. The Switch version includes full voice acting, an orchestral soundtrack, and additional story content that wasn't in the original release. It's a lengthy adventure that can easily take 80 to 100 hours, but the charming characters and satisfying progression make every hour worthwhile.
Go on! You can do it! Get him!
Super Mario RPG brings the classic SNES game to Switch with gorgeous visual upgrades while keeping everything that made the original special. The story has Bowser and Mario teaming up after a giant sword crashes into Bowser's castle and scatters 7 star pieces across the world, which you need to collect to restore the Star Road and defeat the Smithy Gang. The combat system is turn-based, but includes timed button presses that let you deal extra damage on attacks or reduce damage when defending, keeping you engaged during every battle. You'll recruit a party of 5 unique characters, including Mallow, a cloud-like creature who thinks he's a tadpole, and Geno, a star spirit possessing a wooden doll. Each character has their own special moves that consume flower points, the game's mana system. The level-up system lets you choose which stat to boost, adding a light customization element. Platforming sections between battles keep the gameplay varied, and hidden secrets reward thorough exploration. The remake adds quality-of-life improvements like a map system and a post-game boss rush mode. It's a perfect entry point for anyone new to JRPGs, while still being enjoyable for veterans who played the original back in 1996. Octopath Traveler 0 stands out as one of the most rewarding JRPG experiences available on Nintendo Switch, especially for players who enjoy classic turn-based systems refined with modern depth. Combat is built around the familiar break and boost mechanics, encouraging you to study enemy weaknesses, carefully manage turns, and unleash powerful actions at the right moment. A major evolution comes from battles involving all 8 party members at once, split between front and back lines, allowing tactical swaps mid-fight and more layered decision-making. The expanded job system and large cast of recruitable characters offer strong customization, letting you shape parties around synergy rather than rigid roles. Exploration remains a core pillar, with towns, dungeons, and side quests enhanced by path actions that give each character unique ways to interact with the world. The story takes a more unified direction than previous entries, centered on a custom-created protagonist whose journey begins with the destruction of their hometown, leading into themes of restoration, ambition, and conflict across Orstera. A town-building system ties directly into progression, adding a satisfying sense of growth outside combat.
Ready. How's that?
Time to strike! Now's the time!
Now or never.
Ni no Kuni 2 tells the story of Evan, a young king who loses his throne in a coup and decides to build his own kingdom from scratch while uniting the world. He's joined by Roland, a president from our world who's mysteriously transported to this fantasy realm. The real-time combat system lets you directly control characters, dodging attacks and unleashing combos with light and heavy attacks. You can switch between 3 party members instantly during battle, and each character can equip Higgledies, adorable elemental creatures that provide support skills and powerful special attacks when you gather enough of them. The kingdom building aspect lets you construct facilities that provide combat bonuses, research new equipment and spells, and recruit citizens with different skills to populate your growing nation. Skirmishes offer a different gameplay style, where you command units of soldiers in real-time strategy battles. The overworld features visible enemies, puzzle-solving dungeons, and side quests that flesh out the world. The art style captures Studio Ghibli's signature look with expressive character designs and vibrant environments. Final Fantasy Tactics: The Ivalice Chronicles remains one of the most respected strategy JRPGs available on Nintendo Switch, offering a level of tactical depth and narrative maturity that few games match. Gameplay is built around turn-based battles on isometric grid maps, where positioning, elevation, facing, and turn order all play a crucial role, rewarding careful planning rather than brute force. The job system is the heart of the experience, featuring a wide range of classes that can be unlocked, combined, and customized, allowing characters to inherit abilities across jobs and encouraging long-term experimentation with party builds. Combat feels deliberate and demanding, especially in tougher encounters where poor decisions can quickly spiral into defeat. Outside battle, progression is tightly tied to mastering jobs and optimizing equipment rather than grinding levels alone. The story is grounded and politically charged, following Ramza Buell as he becomes entangled in the War of the Lions, a conflict driven by class struggle, betrayal, and hidden truths within the kingdom of Ivalice. Its writing avoids simple heroics, instead presenting morally complex characters and shifting perspectives that deepen the narrative impact. Shin Megami Tensei 5 Vengeance is the definitive version of the apocalyptic JRPG where you play as a high school student who fuses with a demon to become a Nahobino, a forbidden being with godlike power. Tokyo has been devastated and transformed into a demon-infested desert called Da'at, and you're caught in an ancient war between angels and demons fighting for control over creation's future. The press-turn combat system is brutally strategic. Hitting enemy weaknesses or landing critical hits grants extra turns, but enemies follow the same rules, making every decision crucial. You recruit demons through negotiation, which involves answering their questions and offering items or money to convince them to join you. The demon fusion system lets you combine 2 or more demons to create stronger ones, passing down skills you choose to keep. With over 270 demons to collect and fuse, the customization depth is staggering. The Vengeance version adds an entirely new story route called the Canon of Vengeance, with new characters, demons, and areas that run parallel to the original Canon of Creation path. Exploration involves navigating massive desert ruins filled with aggressive demons, hidden items, and side quests called Mimon Hunts. The Lunar Remastered Collection brings back 2 PlayStation classics with enhanced visuals and voice acting. The first game follows Alex, a young adventurer inspired by his hero Dragon Master Dine, who embarks on a quest to become a Dragon Master himself and stop the Magic Emperor from resurrecting an ancient evil. The combat is turn-based, with a unique positioning system where character and enemy placement on the battlefield affects who can hit whom with melee attacks. Characters learn magic through leveling up, rather than equipment, and each party member has a defined role that stays consistent throughout the game. The standout feature is the anime cutscenes that were revolutionary for their time and have been remastered here, adding emotional weight to key story moments. Lunar 2 continues years later with a new protagonist named Hero, who must gather the 4 heroes and stop Zophar, a god of destruction. The sequel expands on the first game's mechanics, with more challenging dungeons and a magic system where spells grow stronger the more you use them. Both games emphasize character development and relationships, particularly the romance between the protagonists and their companions. The towns feel alive with NPCs who react to story events with updated dialogue.
Yeah, baby, yeah!
Xenoblade Chronicles Definitive Edition is an epic tale set on two massive titans frozen in combat, the Bionis and Mechonis. You play as Shulk, a young researcher who gains the power to wield the Monado, a legendary sword that can damage Mechon enemies that normal weapons can't hurt. The story begins when Mechon forces attack your colony, killing someone close to Shulk and setting him on a revenge quest across the Titan's body. The real-time combat system involves auto-attacks that build up your talent gauge while you position yourself around enemies to execute Art's special abilities that have different effects based on your position. Shulk's unique ability lets him see glimpses of the future during battle, giving you chances to change fate by warning allies or repositioning before deadly attacks land. The party system supports 7 playable characters, and you can switch between them anytime outside combat, each offering completely different playstyles. The affinity system tracks relationships between party members, unlocking special combo attacks and heart-to-heart conversations.
We win! Let's not lose our heads, though.
Pokémon Legends Arceus completely reimagines the franchise by sending you back to the ancient Hisui region before Pokémon training was common practice. You're a member of the Galaxy Expedition Team, tasked with creating the region's first Pokédex by studying Pokémon in the wild. The core gameplay loop involves exploring open zones where Pokémon roam freely, and you can catch them by sneaking up and throwing Pokéballs without triggering a battle. Or you can throw a Pokémon from your party to start a battle. The combat system uses a turn order based on speed stats and move styles you can choose. Agile style for weaker attacks that let you move sooner, or strong style for powerful hits that delay your next turn. Pokémon can have their moves changed by visiting the move tutor in town, and they learn new moves by leveling up or using items. The research system requires you to complete specific tasks for each Pokémon, like catching them multiple times, seeing them use certain moves, or catching them without being spotted. Alpha Pokémon are larger, stronger versions that patrol specific areas and provide a real challenge. Xenoblade Chronicles X Definitive Edition is the most ambitious JRPG on Switch, with a seamless open world that's 5 times larger than the original Xenoblade Chronicles. Humanity's last survivors crash land on planet Mira, where you're recruited as a Blade operative, tasked with exploring the alien world and recovering pieces of your crashed ship. You create your own character and customize their appearance, class, and skills as you progress. The combat system builds on Xenoblade's foundation, with arts and soul voices that trigger when party members call out for specific actions, like using melee attacks or ranged abilities, rewarding team coordination. The class system lets you switch between different weapon combinations, like assault rifles with dual swords or Gatling guns with shields, with each class having unique skill trees. About 30 hours in, you unlock Skell's massive mechanical suits that transform exploration and combat by letting you fly freely across Mira's continents, reaching previously inaccessible areas. The world is filled with dangerous creatures, some towering over your Skell, creating genuine tension when exploring new regions. Affinity missions develop relationships with your party members and expand the story, while normal missions offer substantial side content that fleshes out the new LA colony. Fantasy Life is a life simulation RPG where you can live out multiple fantasy careers called lives, ranging from combat roles like paladin and mercenary to crafting jobs like blacksmith and tailor. The story follows your custom character, who encounters a mysterious girl capable of stealing time itself, and you'll unravel the secrets behind her powers while exploring the vibrant world of Reveria. You can switch between any of the 12 lives at any time, and each one has its own progression system with unique abilities and challenges to master. Combat lives let you fight monsters in real-time action battles, where you dodge attacks and unleash combos, while gathering lives like Woodcutter and Miner let you collect materials from the environment. Crafting lives use those materials to create weapons, armor, furniture, and meals that boost your stats. The gameplay loop is incredibly addictive. You might start as a paladin fighting monsters, switch to Miner to gather ore, then become a blacksmith to forge a new sword from that ore. The world is filled with NPCs who give you requests that reward you with better equipment and story progression. Trails in the Sky First Chapter is widely regarded as one of the most thoughtfully crafted JRPGs available on Nintendo Switch, especially for players who value strong world-building and character-driven storytelling. Gameplay is built around turn-based combat with a clear tactical layer, where positioning, turn order, status effects, and ability timing all influence the outcome of battles. The Orbment and Court system adds depth by letting you customize characters through elemental setups that determine magic access, passive bonuses, and combat roles, encouraging experimentation rather than rigid class structures. Battles reward preparation and smart use of crafts and arts, while lighter encounters can be resolved quickly to keep pacing smooth. Exploration focuses on traveling across the Kingdom of Liberl, completing Bracer Guild requests, and uncovering side stories that flesh out towns, NPCs, and regional politics. The narrative follows Estelle and Joshua Bright as their small-scale journey gradually expands into a broader political and emotional arc, blending everyday problems with rising tension and intrigue.
Not done yet.
Xenoblade Chronicles 2 takes place in Allrest, a world where humanity lives on the backs of massive creatures called Titans that are slowly dying. You play as Rex, a salvager who accidentally bonds with Pyra, a legendary blade with the power to destroy or save the world. And together, you journey to reach Elysium, a fabled paradise. Blades are living weapons that bond with drivers, and the combat system revolves around this partnership. You control the driver while your blade provides abilities and weapons. Auto attacks build up arts, special moves that have different effects based on positioning, and landing arts in the correct order creates combos that lead to devastating chain attacks. The blade system lets you collect dozens of unique blades through random core crystal openings, each with distinct designs, personalities, and elemental affinities. You can equip up to 3 blades per driver and switch between them mid-combat to adapt to different situations. The affinity chart system tracks your relationship with each blade, unlocking new abilities and stat boosts as you use them in battle and complete their personal quests.
Why not? Yeah! Gah! Ha! See, Grumps? I'm getting better.
Paper Mario: The Thousand-Year Door sends Mario on a quest to find the Crystal Stars and save Princess Peach from the sinister X-Nauts, who are trying to open the legendary Thousand-Year Door. The game takes place in Rogueport, a shady harbor town filled with criminals, and you'll travel to unique locations like a wrestling arena, a ghost-filled mansion, and a tropical island resort. The combat is turn-based with timed button presses that let you deal extra damage or reduce incoming damage, keeping you actively engaged during every battle. Mario can use jump attacks effective against airborne enemies or hammer strikes that hit grounded foes and can't target flying enemies. Partners join your adventure with their own unique abilities, both in combat and exploration. Goombella can reveal enemy stats, Koops can retrieve distant items with his shell, and Vivian can hide you in shadows. The badge system is your customization tool, where you equip badges that cost BP to enhance Mario's abilities, add new moves, or provide passive bonuses like increased HP or defense. The audience mechanic adds a unique twist, where toads watch your battles and react to your performance, occasionally throwing helpful items or hazardous objects onto the stage. Fire Emblem Three Houses stands as one of the most complete and engaging strategy JRPGs on Nintendo Switch, blending deep tactical combat with meaningful character development and choice-driven storytelling. Battles take place on turn-based grid maps, where positioning, terrain, unit roles, and turn order all matter, pushing you to think ahead and manage risk carefully rather than relying on raw strength. The addition of battalions expands combat options, allowing characters to perform powerful gambits or gain stat bonuses that can shift the flow of a fight. Outside combat, progression is shaped through your role as a professor at Garrigmach Monastery, where you train students, manage schedules, and build relationships that directly affect battlefield performance and narrative paths. The flexible class system encourages experimentation, letting characters grow into different roles based on how you guide their skills, rather than locking them into fixed archetypes. Storytelling is a major strength, set in the politically fractured continent of Fodlan, where your choice of house influences alliances, conflicts, and the overall direction of the plot.
I'll give it my all. Ready.
Rune Factory Guardians of Azuma delivers a distinctive JRPG experience on Nintendo Switch by blending action-driven combat with life simulation and world restoration systems. Gameplay focuses on real-time battles where positioning, weapon choice, and timing matter, combining melee combat, ranged options, and mystical abilities tied to the protagonist's role as an Earth Dancer. These powers are not limited to combat, as they are also used to cleanse corruption, interact with the environment, and restore the land. Outside of fighting, the game places strong emphasis on farming, village rebuilding, and daily life management, creating a steady loop where progress in one system naturally supports the others. You cultivate fields, gather resources, upgrade settlements, and assist seasonal villages, all while forming bonds with a diverse cast of characters who can support you both narratively and mechanically. Social interactions, friendships, and romance play a meaningful role, reinforcing the sense of living in a recovering world rather than simply passing through it. The story unfolds in the eastern land of Azuma, following a memory-lost protagonist whose mysterious connection to the land and its guardian forces drives a journey centered on healing, balance, and rediscovery. Octopath Traveler 2 refines everything from the first game, with 8 protagonists, each starting in different regions with their own complete storylines that eventually interweave. You've got characters like Oswald, a scholar framed for murder, seeking revenge, and Throne, an assassin trying to escape her criminal organization. The HD 2D art style blends pixelated characters with 3D environments and beautiful lighting effects that create a unique storybook aesthetic. The combat uses a turn-based system with a boost point mechanic, where you accumulate points each turn and can spend up to 3 at once to power up your actions. The break system is crucial. Every enemy has specific weapon and magic weaknesses, and hitting them enough times with their weaknesses breaks their defense, stunning them for a turn. Each character has a path action, like Oswald's ability to extract information from NPCs, or Casty's talent for concocting items. The job system lets you assign secondary jobs to characters, mixing abilities to create powerful combinations. Day and night cycles affect NPC locations and which path actions you can use. Side quests are substantial and often unlock new jobs or powerful equipment, making exploration genuinely rewarding throughout the 60 to 80-hour adventure.
It's my turn.
What's our plan of attack? My spear shall strike true!
Dragon Quest III HD 2D Remake reimagines the classic 1988 JRPG that defined the genre with stunning visuals that blend 2D sprites with 3D environments and dramatic lighting. You play as the child of the legendary hero Ortega, setting out on your 16th birthday to complete your father's quest to defeat the archfiend Baramos, who threatens the world. The game opens with character creation, where you build a party of 4 from various classes, including warrior, mage, priest, merchant, and thief, with advanced classes unlocking later. The turn-based combat is straightforward but tactical, requiring you to manage MP carefully and use the right spells and abilities for each situation. The class system lets you change party members' jobs at all trades Abbey, resetting their level but keeping some stats, encouraging experimentation with different team compositions. The world map is massive, with towns, dungeons, and caves to explore, and you'll travel by foot, ship, and eventually other magical means. The day and night cycle affects which NPCs appear and what shops are open, adding a layer of strategy to exploration. Monster animations are beautifully redone with the HD 2D treatment, making encounters visually engaging. Xenoblade Chronicles 3 masterfully concludes Monolith Soft's epic JRPG trilogy with its most emotional and refined entry yet. Set in a world where 2 nations, of Keves and Agnes, are locked in an eternal conflict, you control 6 characters from opposing sides who become fused together and discover the dark truth about their world, where soldiers only live for 10 years. The real-time combat system reaches new heights with the class switching mechanic that lets characters learn and equip abilities from different roles, like attacker, defender, and healer. The interlink system allows paired characters to fuse into powerful Ouroboros forms with devastating abilities and their own skill trees. Chain attacks return but are more strategic, requiring you to build up orders and target specific enemy weaknesses to extend the chain and deal massive damage. The world is divided into massive, interconnected regions filled with high-level, unique monsters, hidden areas, and meaningful side quests that develop characters beyond the main party. Hero quests let you recruit special characters who provide new classes and expand the story's scope. The affinity system tracks relationships between all party members, unlocking heart-to-heart conversations that reveal character backgrounds and motivations. Dragon Quest I and II HD 2D Remake revitalizes 2 classic JRPGs with modern visuals and refined mechanics, bringing the beloved series to life on the Nintendo Switch. The core of the gameplay remains faithful to the turn-based combat that made the originals iconic, where you engage in battles using a mix of physical attacks, magic, and items. The remake enhances this system with quality-of-life improvements, such as faster battle speeds, clearer menus, and additional mechanics like sigils and scrolls, which add strategic depth. Exploration is equally enriched with revamped world layouts, expanded regions, and new content that encourages players to fully immerse themselves in side quests and environmental storytelling. In terms of narrative, the games follow the descendants of the legendary hero Erdrick, with the first game focusing on a lone hero tasked with defeating the Dragon Lord to save a kingdom, while the second game builds on this with a party-based journey across multiple realms to stop the evil Hargan. The updated dialogue and expanded scenes give more emotional weight to the stories, enhancing the simple yet powerful plots with deeper character interactions and richer world building. And there you have it, the top 20 JRPGs you need to play on Switch before 2026. Which of these games have you already played, and which ones are you adding to your backlog? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, smash that like button and subscribe to SwitchTop for more Nintendo Switch content. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.